the wicket. This could be challenging with that wind, so he's pushing the ball back in towards the stumps and the wind pushing it across.
Good to watch Shaheen Shah Afridi because there's a lot of energy about him. He bowled slightly within himself in the first innings by looking to push it up to the batsman. But in the second innings, looked to hit the deck a lot more. Slight difference in approach.
You're right. Yesterday evening, he ran in yesterday evening, and there was a concern that he had sort of got so angry and wasn't going to be channeling this aggression, but he was right on the money, and he gets off the danger area.
Well off. He bowls wide at the crease.
The previous over was actually a really good over from Shaheen Shah Afridi from over the wicket, in that it starts straight. He pushed it across the right hand. Kusal Mendez left really well in the previous over, and it's really forced Shaheen Shah to come around the wicket. But I don't think it was. He looked threatening from over.
It did, but what didn't happen for him actually is the ball didn't come back. And within this breeze, it's not gonna come back unless it drops for a moment. The wind here in Galle has been consistent. Normally you get it picking up, dropping down, and each time there's a change. Because he wants Kusal Mendis to play at it, that's why he's going around and using this angle.
Isn't that the beauty of the long version of the game? You talk about how the wind changes. And yes, it's been consistent over the course of this test match, but how it can be strong and die down a little bit later on, and how as bowlers you're having to adjust to that, and batters you're having to think on your feet. And that's the beauty of the test. Because there's things forever changing, the environment's forever changing. Can you adapt as a player? Once that white ball's done, it's done. That's the end of it. Like this in the 50 over game, they try and maybe even try and get that white ball to reverse, but T20 stuff, that's almost impossible.
And that white ball generally starts talking when it's about 30 overs old. So the T20 it's out, and now in the 50 over we got 2 balls. So it's when you get up to the 50th over, ball is only 25 overs old. So not quite there.
Nicely bowled. Just let down in the field, unfortunately. This was a 4 defence. Hauled in off the boundary. It'll get through for 3. It'll conclude the 18th. Shaheen Shah Afridi didn't deserve that. 55 for 2.
This summer, Omar presents Wonder Bhari creamy, flavorful treats जो कर दे सबको wow. Omar, wow भरा bite.
चाय चाहिए कौन सी जन्नत.
Yasir Shah. That's a good feeling when a forward defensive shot runs away like that.
He's got another start. Shot of Fernando. He got a start in the first innings and didn't go on. He's got another start here.
Got a start in the COVID innings as well.
You know, again, he's played that shot well. This time he will find a boundary.
This time it's Mendes. His timing is brilliant. The forward defense runs away. He plays a late cut, obviously. Again, slightly outside off stump, and that's allowing them to play that late cut. Oh, the pressure will build on Nawaz. That's what you don't want. The moment you make a mistake, then the captain's thinking, oh dear, do I make a change? Do I get someone else on? But that's 3 times in the last 2 overs that cut shot's been played.
Well watched. Expecting for that to turn away, but it didn't. It went straight on with the arm and skipped through quite quickly.
And he has that front leg out of the way so that the back can come down at it. Go back leg and front leg together, your side on. Sometimes you might get stuck there. The back has to come around that front leg. There you go. Front leg gets out of the way so he can play it easily. Weight well in front. Nothing in the way. The back can get to it as soon as possible.
It's such a good example when people refer to getting your weight forward, even though you're playing back. Now, he actually falls forward afterwards. His weight is so... It's good, isn't it? Played it beautifully.
And you can see it better too when your head's right in front. There's no blind area. Even though you're moving on to the back foot, you still want your weight in front. The head is your heaviest part of the body. The rest of your body will follow your head. Nicely done. The last ball that was.
Oh, what a competitive over that was. Good stuff. 59 for 2.
जैज की 75 मिलियन कस्टमर रहे हैं पाकिस्तान की 75वीं जश्न आजादी को एक सुपर अंदाज के साथ। तो शामिल हो जाएं इस जश्न में पाकिस्तान की पहले और सबसे बड़े नेशनल सॉन्ग कॉम्पिटिशन के साथ।
खुशबू को मिला हिफाजत का साथ, नया सेफगार्ड लैवेंडर, जर्म से महकती हिफाजत। सेफगार्ड।
Sri Lanka 52 in terms of 59 for 2 rather. Start of the day 36 for 1 stumps. Seen the night watchman disappear. From my perspective, I'm a little frustrated now. I've lost my mate Shaheen Shafridi. I just noticed at the end of that last over when he went through cover and I saw a little clap and that was it. It was thanks, and we'll only bowl 3 overs here, Shaheen, for you. And it was Bubba just saying, look, thanks. Now it is time for spin and more spin. Here in Gaul. Morning, Amir. Not surprising.
Good morning. Good morning to all. Pakistan still working very hard using the option this morning. Yasir Shah break the stride. Mohammad Nawaz came very close. Break this partnership. He was unlucky. Pakistan needs to keep plugging in. Keep concentrating. These 2 sessions are of highest importance. Whoever plays these 2 better will be way ahead in this test match. The fight is going on. absorbing cricket.
Yeah, I mean, I went out there of this pitch in this unique venue where that breeze hums through the gap between the fort and part of the stadium here. Yeah, it's fizzing a little, not as much as probably later on this day. Yeah, and just how dry it was, and given that this is a venue where test match results massive, hardly any draws, and we showed the graphic I think yesterday, and how quickly it dries out because of that breeze, and all of a sudden test is advanced. Another over done at 60 for 2.
It's the kind of magic. Need a buzz, let me feel the burn. जो जिंदगी करे fiery, हो रही है craving spicy. I need a और मैं क्या है noodle spicy. इतना pleasant जो कर दे surprising. Literally bringing the heat to your body. Game changer lit करे scene. तीखे का level extreme. Word. Oh damn. I need a buzz, you can feel the burn. Ignore, ignore.
In reply, Pakistan, amazing, great effort from the skipper, and ably supported Bono's tail at the end of yesterday's second session and into that third session. Very good indeed. Jansuri was menacing at times, 5 for 82, but he'd be a bit disappointed he didn't get another 6 for. Plenty of time to have a crack. They couldn't get 6, got 5, very good, but lead was only 4. All left arm man here now.
Yeah, this pitch has responded well to the bowlers who are falling into the pitch. Another left-armer, Jayasuriya, in the last innings. He got tired after lunch. He couldn't keep the body behind the ball. There was not much force, hence making it very easy for a tail-ender to survive for that long. But Nawaz is fresh. And you were talking about the dryness of the pitch. Yes, it's a bone-dry pitch. And the batters, they have to work to the bone to be able to prevail here. A concentration is required. And the batsmen have to take leaf out of Babar Azam's book. How well he handled the conditions and the situation.
Yeah, there's confirmation with those flags going. Looking back at City End, but left, as you look at it on your screen there, coming humming through the gap between the fort and from the sea. Oh, there's that bounce. There is that little bit extra. Whilst the ball is new, Pakistan will be realised, yeah, it's gone for 4. But that's not a bad delivery. It's actually a little bit of a win for the bowler because the ball is still new and still bouncing and fizzing a little.
Yeah, Babar Azam has to plug that gap. The ball has flown past this area quite frequently. He has to get a gully, and the point has to be moved backward. Runs have been leaked from that area. Babar has to react. Every run from here on is going to be very important. Pakistan is going to play the 4th innings of this test match. And this pitch is not friendly for the batsman in the 4th innings. Not at all.
Yeah, understatement there, Amir. Yeah, and I just think, as you say, it's spinning away from that outside edge. And Babar's just got to be a bit more aggressive and more confident with his field and say, hey, look, let's get another guy in there and let's have a catching position. And as you say, Amir, have the guy come a little bit finer at the backward point. After all, it is the smallest side of the ground. 64 for 2.
तुम्हारे कंधों पे
मतलब डर का वापस कल ही तो शैम्पू किया था
तो शैम्पू बदलो और ले आओ हेड एंड शोल्डर्स। इसका बाकायदा इस्तेमाल करें खुश्की के जम्स पर असर 100% तक खुश्की मिटाए और लौटने से रोके। हेड एंड शोल्डर्स कंधे से बोझ हटा दे।
कैल्शियम हर रोज है, काम की ये डोज है, अभी तो मैं जवान हूँ।
कैल्शियम और विटामिन डी के इस्तेमाल से अब हर औरत बोलेगी
There are 1,000 ways I can.
Now the leaders now just eked out to 68. Little mini partnership starting to form. 23 now between these two. Crucial as ever. Start of the day. First session. This has gone off the straight, but it's not fizzed quickly. Mendes, lovely. Just with soft hands at the ball. Picks up a couple.
But this is going to be a very productive area for the batters, because the ball is spinning sharply and the batsmen are looking to play the ball late. So instead of having conventional point, it should be moved finer. And like we suggested, a gully can be a good option here. A bowling with the right pace, Yasser. Demand from this pitch is the ball into the pitch. And that's when the pitch reacts to the ball. He's fallen into a good rhythm now. Using his experience, Yasser Shah.
And I'll ask you, Ahmed, is it fair dues to say maybe Bubba's a little conservative, given his field, what we're watching right now with the two spinners, and you've got Yasser Shah coming back. He's coming back, but you've got to back your bowler, don't you? He's been such a match winner, he's such a wicket taker. Do you think he's been a little on the conservative side today?
I think as a captain, first you have to listen to the bowler with what he's comfortable with. And once you're not convinced with the bowler's thinking, you have to dictate as a captain, and that's what he's looking to do now. Adjustments. He allowed the bowler to fall into a good rhythm, and now field is appropriate. This field placing has a potential. Quicker deliveries can go to slip and gully, and the flighty delivery, if the batsman is not in control, that shot extra cover. This is good.
Often see this, don't you guys, on their knees. That is a great retort. What a wonderful stroke. Boundary there, not the biggest going around for sure, but so clinical here. Wonderful stroke from Fernando.
Baba and Yasser shouldn't get perturbed with this one. The reason why a batsman decided to come down to the track, he was uncomfortable. He wants Yasser Shah to move away from that threatening liner length. But it was a good hit though. Positive.
A lovely stroke indeed. 9 from the over. 73 for 2.
जैज के 75 मिलियन कस्टमर्स मना रहे हैं पाकिस्तान की 75वीं जश्न आजादी को एक सुपर अंदाज के साथ। तो शामिल हो जाएं इस जश्न में पाकिस्तान की पहले और सबसे बड़े नेशनल सॉन्ग कॉम्पिटिशन के साथ।
Lots of नई delicious praline flavor में
A little bit of flamboyance from Fernando. Skip down the track and countering what Yasser Shah was trying to get a little fizz and go away from that outside edge, and Imam will and across, and he's again doing this for Nawaz. It's on his knees, a sort of a little short gully, sort of wider slip from Bubba's right shoulder. So plug that gap as as Sahar was saying, needs to happen. Aggressive with the field, looking to take wickets. Now you stop batters getting runs, send them back to the hut.
There is a very competent batsman, Mendes. He's got all the time in the world, even on a pitch like this. Looks very comfortable playing the bowlers off the back foot. And he's got a very good second innings record. Cheeky. But it tells me that he has started to feel comfortable against Nawaz. What the measure of his pace. To be able to decipher what he's looking to do. And looking to improvise. That tells you he started to feel comfortable.
They're both pretty short fellows, look close to the ground. Says here, very adept, as you say, Amanda. Late cuts, dabs, good at sweeping, getting down low, just using perhaps sometimes the line of the ball. But just as you mentioned about Mendes, I ask you about that, the value of having a top-order player that has a better average in his second innings. So valuable.
Yeah, Danny, it's interesting, isn't it? Some players, they excel under pressure. You throw them the challenge and they respond well. Otherwise, their approach is casual. The reason why he's been performed very well in the second innings, he possesses a very solid technique and then he responds well under pressure. Good to have a player like him in your lineup.
Well, look at this discrepancy in that. The difference is almost 15. The average is 42, let's call it just over 42 and a half in the second innings. As Kushal Mendes. That bodes well. Can he kick on here with Fernando? Oh, that is bounce. That is a beauty. Fernando plays it rather elegantly in a way with the soft hands. Just rides it almost. These two, can they get a partnership of substance? 38 from 59. And yeah, there's pressure building, but it's still fascinating playing.
Yeah, the frustration is creeping in. Now, what likable about Mashada? He's always thinking of runs, no matter what the situation is. It's a handy trait to have for a batsman. Oh, that was a good delivery. Length was slightly shorter, hence there was no edge found by the bowler. 79 for 2 Sri Lanka.
जो चाहो जब चाहो जहाँ चाहो पाओ पाओ फासला रखे वरना जाया हो जाएगा दिल तो चाह रहा है इसको घुमा घुमा के तू टेंशन ना ले हवा ले ले गर्मी भगा ठंड रख स्प्राइट
Some star quality there. Even Brendan Taylor, captain in Zimbabwe, a lot gutsy stuff. Look at the difference for him too. Second innings average that outshines his first turn it back. Aaron Bravo, previous Lakshman, tasty indeed there. Should think about him back in 2001 versus those Australians. Him and Rahul Dravid before. So yeah, some very illustrious company, as you say, our man, for Kushal Mendes. Here though, in 2022, big job to do. He's settling in. He's 15, and Fernando, Sri Lankan opener, he's now got into the 40s.
Just because these two batsmen are batting very comfortably out there in the middle, and the bowling change has been affected. Hassan Ali for the first time in the second innings has been asked to bowl. He was able to get some deviation off the surface in the previous innings, picked up important wickets. Pakistan desperate for a breakthrough here.
I love his heart. Hassan Ali, I often call him Hustle Ali. As he hustles in, bustles in, he's at you, you get the radar right. So crucial, this little spell now, before lunch. In there, just probing away, as you say. I mean, a little bit of shape, a little bit of swing, a little bit of seam, just enough. We're only into the 24th over with this Kookaburra, new ball, new innings, so let's see what he can do.
I'm interested to see how he's going to go about the job in this innings. He was floating the ball in the first innings. There was moisture on the surface and he exploited that. But now the demand is different. Let's see how he's going to react. Probably back of the length, banging the ball in. Better. This is good. Just back of the length.
It's just about the perfect length where the batsman's caught on the crease and just sparring a little. So he'll want to settle in because he didn't start that well, did he, in that first spell on day one. It was a little bit both sides and perhaps lacked a little bit of rhythm. Lacked clearly a bit of test match game time because the last series was against the Aussies back in Pakistan. Play as much first class cricket as you like, but when you step up to this level it really is quite different. Different mindset, different mental toughness required. Just try and stay in that group, try and have some consistency, create some pressure here for spinner mates at the other end.
Interesting point you made, Danny. It's a different level from first class cricket. It's a step up. But one thing, if you gain playing first class cricket, if you're able to find your game, your confidence will be sky high. And it'll be very easy for you as a player to have that step up. Oh, he's looking very confident. Shada showing all the confidence in the world. He's playing purposefully for his side out there in the middle.
Straight at this time. There's protection there. Mid wicket. Hovering. Expecting.
Yeah, he's looking to meet the ball against the fast bowler Oshada. In the previous innings, he played a wide delivery. He was caught behind. I think if the fast bowler Hassan Ali keep on tempting him outside the off stump, might do the trick. Solid. Oshada, it's 79 for 2.
तुमने नोटिस किया? हाँ यार, पेप्सी काफी स्ट्रांग हो गई है ना? या
नई पेप्सी अब और भी ज्यादा स्ट्रांग, तो व्हाई नॉट मेरी जान।
Walls अब नए delicious double chocolate flavor में।
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bowlers used so far for Pakistan, and Babar Azam has been quite chatty with his bowlers and saying what do you want, fields do you think, and now Yasir Shah's going to change ends. So, places Nawaz. Time for the leggy. At the moment, the surface, I think, that good length, it's slightly short of a good length, but I haven't seen the puff of the pitch, but it won't be long. I don't reckon they come out for a drinks break, and then it'll be lunch, and then we'll just see more of that breeze, how much this pitch will dry out even more here at the start of day 3. So a big boundary, but it doesn't matter because you're hitting with the breeze and it just races away here at Gore.
And he played the ball a bit early to place the ball away from the fielder. That's good batting. Good awareness shown by the batsman. Fielder behind square leg is quite fine. To be able to hit the ball in front of the leg umpire, you had to meet the ball early. Good batting. Enjoyable battle out there in the middle.
And all of a sudden, just on moments ago, weren't we saying, well, lead is 58. Suddenly, zipped up to 87. So that's come at a good clip. Run rate is 3.4, let's call it. So a little increase, a little step up. Bushel Mendes, he's hit 2 boundaries. That's 6 hit a while ago from Fernando to go with his 4-4s. So he's striking at 60. All of a sudden, this partnership's gone into the 40s since the fall of Vegeta, the night watchman for 7. Started today. So coming up almost the hour. Almost a drinks break here, but Bubba will be mindful of this, and he looks a little disgusted at slip, the way this has just been picked off into the leg side, and a comfortable 2 more.
And also, the diminutive figure of Kusal Mendes helps him to play the balls off the back foot, where other batsmen are forced to play them on the can be handy in cricket. Diminutive figure. He's forcing Yasir Shah to ball up to him. Looks easy. It's 85 for 2.
थोड़ा मिला के पागलपन मोमेंट हो जाए तरन पम पम This summer, Omar presents Wonder Bhari creamy, flavorful treats जो कर दे सबको वाह. Omar, वाह भरा बाइट.
तुम्हारे कंधों पे
मतलब डैंड्रफ वापस कल ही तो शैम्पू किया था.
तो शैम्पू बदलो और ले आओ हेड एंड शोल्डर्स. इसका बाकायदा इस्तेमाल करें खुश्की के जम्स पर असर. खुश्की मिटाए और लौटने से रोके. हेड एंड शोल्डर्स कंधे से बोझ हटा दे.
Sri Lanka 2 down in the second innings, and in red at the bottom. That lead of 89 was only 4, so it was pretty much even Stevens after 1 innings each. Bowled Hassan. And in Test match cricket, every so often, in a different venue, you get one of these gem stats. This graphic we've got, because of this venue, will underline what Amir Sahel has been on about, and H.T. Ackerman and Russell Arnold, about how difficult it is in the 4th innings at this venue to oh dear. The bowler's been let down there. It wasn't a great bounce, but you've got to get something in behind it. It's gone for 4. Ahmed Nawaz, who's just finished a bowling spell, has missed this rather badly.
And he's regarded as one of the best fielder in the Pakistani lineup. Very casual. Yeah. That ball spun oddly. Easy runs given away, where every run is of vital importance.
you're saying, I mean, you just got to try and get something in the way, don't you? Even if it hits you in the thigh, or you miss it, hits you, even if it kicked up a bit more and hit him in the stomach. Try and get something in the way. Bowling. Yeah, it's the confirmation we're talking about. See, the top two there, they're outstanding, and they're in recent time. 2019 and 2021, Sri Lanka over New Zealand, England up against Sri Lanka and got there. But look at that, the top two. The rest have not got over 100. Staggering in terms of fourth innings chases. It is just phenomenal how difficult and challenging of scoring more than 100, 150. Batting last, Eric Ball. Kushal Mendes, who was crucial for Sri Lanka with Fernando.
But what we saw in that Australian series, even the Sri Lankan batsmen been brought up on spin dive, struggled in the fourth innings. The innings was packed up in almost 50 overs. Yeah, Chennai is another venue where batting last is not easy. It's ultra demanding.
Yeah, no surprises, Gaul is next to Chennai. In terms of spinners getting involved and dominating proceedings here in Test match cricket. Freaky. Yeah, just to reconfirm that, pretty much neck and neck there, Chennai and Gaul in terms of batting last in a Test match, and you might be only chasing 120, 150. It is not easy. It's history in recent times has shown.
Different characters of those pitches. Helping in different bounds. Ball Chennai. Ball spins a lot in sharp yaw. It was a good hit. But no run. This ends the over. And it's time for the players to get hydrated.
मुस्तकिल दर्द की वजह से आपका पूरा दिन खराब हो सकता है। ऐसे में मैं आपको नई पैनाडोल एक्सटेंड के इस्तेमाल का मशवरा देता हूं। इसमें है खास बाय लेयर टेक्नोलॉजी, जिसकी एक तह फौरी हल होकर दे जल्द आराम, जबकि दूसरी तह आहिस्ता आहिस्ता घुलकर 8 घंटों तक असर रखे बरकरार, ताकि आप रोजमर्रा के कामों को जारी रख सकें। इसलिए देर पर आराम के लिए पैनाडोल एक्सटेंड पर मेरा भरोसा है।
तमाम दवाएं बच्चों की पहुंच से दूर रखें। खुराक लेवल पर दी गई हिदायत के मुताबिक इस्तेमाल करें। तबीयत ज्यादा खराब हो तो डॉक्टर से रुजू करें। हाई ब्लड प्रेशर और अमराज़ जिगर के मरीज डॉक्टर के मशवरे से संभाल करें।
हम बोर हो रहे हैं।
एक पहेली पूछो, क्या है जो नए सर्फ एक्सेल की तरह सख्त भी है और उसमें है नरमी भी भरपूर? अब नया सर्फ एक्सेल करें सख्त दाग दूर और अपनी सॉफ्ट पर्ल टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ रखें कपड़ों की नरमी भरपूर। सर्फ एक्सेल, सख्त दाग दूर।
जैज़ के 75 मिलियन कस्टमर्स बना रहे हैं पाकिस्तान की 75वीं जश्न आजादी को एक सुपर अंदाज के साथ। तो शामिल हो जाएं इस जश्न में पाकिस्तान की पहले और सबसे बड़े नेशनल सॉन्ग कॉम्पिटिशन के साथ।
तारीख का सबसे ताकतवर एरियल ब्लू फार्मूले के साथ तो बनाओ कॉलर्स पे दागों की दीवार, जमेगा धूल, मिट्टी और पसीना, तो हो जाए मुकाबला नए एरियल से,
जिसके नीले जर्रात कॉलर्स पे जमे दागों की हर दीवार गिराए एक चमकदार सफाई।
थोड़ा मिला के पागलपन मोमेंट हो जाए तरम पम पम।
This summer, Omar presents Wonder Bhari creamy, flavorful treats. जो wow, Omar, wow भरा bite.
It's the kind of magic.
जैज़ के 75 मिलियन कस्टमर्स मना रहे हैं पाकिस्तान की 75वीं जश्न आजादी को एक सुपर अंदाज के साथ।
पेशेंट्स मुझे अक्सर बताते हैं कि ठंडी या गर्म चीज लेने से दांतों में शदीद तकलीफ का एहसास होता है। इसका आसान और फौरी हल है सेंसोडाइन रैपिड एक्शन का रोजाना बाकायदगी से इस्तेमाल। ये सिर्फ 7 सेकंड्स में तकलीफ से आराम देता है। इट्स ब्रिलियंट।
So yesterday, in the corner of the trapped in front, Mohammad Nawaz was the ninth watch from Qasem Raj. The first over. Again, Mohammad Nawaz with the arm, going with the arm this time. Since then, Osunda Fernando and Raul Mendes have steadied the ship. Mohammad Nawaz, successful bowler so far for Pakistan.
Right. We have some beautiful places in Sri Lanka. We have shown you what Galle is, but these are some of the other parts of Sri Lanka with wildlife, beautiful scenery, high peaks, the tea gardens, the lovely waterfalls, lots of options, and of course the coast. This is what Sri Lanka possess, and this is what they're so proud of. So visit Sri Lanka, that's the plea and that's the request. That's what you're thinking about. You should come and you should visit this beautiful country. Yasir Shah will continue. He's bowling into a good breeze, good cross breeze. We've spoken about the drift, Maha, how good it is with and how useful it can be to the spinners. And Yasir Shah is bowling from that perfect end where he can drift it into the right hander, and if he can find some spin or turn off the surface, it can be deadly.
Absolutely. With Mohammad Nawaz and Yasir Shah taking the ball away from the right-hander. They're going to be handful. We saw Jayasuriya bowled well from the particular end. But at the moment, I think Yasir Shah is a bit too quick, as well as the batsman playing him very easily in the back foot. In this pitch, the slowness of 1-6 pitches, that's better. That's what I'm talking about. That time is going with the arm, the one which is going to drift in and turn. That's where most of the batsmen might nick off. Again, consistency. Whole couple of deliveries, maybe 3 in the right spot. There's something bound to happen in this pitch.
I think so far the surface has looked good for the third day. Good use of the feet. Very good use of the feet. One thing that has been the signature or the hallmark of Osunda Fernando. He's played some lovely drives. The lofts have been brilliant. Such a straight bat and very, very decisive.
He's made a name himself in first class cricket, playing still when coming down the track. In even international cricket, whenever there is opportunity to come down, he has not been afraid to do that. This time, very effectively, all around the ground. This good batting. Oh, lovely. Beautifully bowled. Inside edge for a single, and being also the Fernando's 50. He has played really well. Tough conditions. Coming into this team, facing Pathum Nissanka, and brings up his 6th half century.
Such an important innings. You spoke about Pathum Nissanka, who was a preferred opener in the Sri Lankan side, but sadly not available because of the COVID virus. So Osunda Fernando stepping in as first as his COVID substitute, and now been given the opportunity in this test match, and he's really making it hard for the selectors. This is brilliant work by the Sri Lankan batting. Kamidu Mendis is out there pushing someone. Now Osunda Fernando has already got runs at the top. And don't forget, quite a few of them pushing. Well, that's the importance of having mirroring players. Just trying to mirror a player or mirror players in a team. Sri Lanka's lead is 100. It's good to have Osunda and Pathum Nissanka vying for a place. Kamidu Mendis pushing. So many left-handers, left-arm spinners out there pushing Prabhat Jayasuriya. I think what we need is an off-spinner that's not pushing Ramesh Mendis. We'll talk about it. It's 96 for 2.
सख्त गर्मियों और बारिशों के साथ आती हैं कई बीमारियां और इन्फेक्शंस। सिर्फ डेटॉल सोप का जर्म डिफेंस प्रोटेक्ट करे 100 बीमारी फैलाने वाले जरासीम से और दे यकीनी हिफाजत।
कैल्शियम हर रोज है, काम की ये डोज है, अभी तो मैं जवान हूँ। कैल्शियम और विटामिन डी के इस्तेमाल से अब हर औरत बोलेगी
There are 1,000 ways I can.
Sri Lanka lost 2-0, but Shinda Fernando for a newcomer batted really well in that series.
Right, that's a look at Osho Fernando's career. Maybe Australia and England are the disappointing ones, but very impressive against Pakistan, South Africa. Kusal Mendes is another player that has so much potential, so much spoken of, and he will be the first to admit that he has actually not delivered to expectations. But just getting back on the depth that we are talking about for Sri Lanka. Speak about players pushing others for places in the team. Nicely worked behind square leg. Easy couple. Before we get to that, let's take a look at what Kusal Mendes has achieved. If you look at those averages, he's very good against Bangladesh, New Zealand, Zimbabwe, and West Indies. But the rest, even India, is in the 30s, but it's the rest. But see, someone who's played so many test matches, someone who's brought into the team with a lot of promise and potential, considered a future captain when he captained the Sri Lanka under-19 side. You'd expect him to be having his average in the 40s, isn't it? He's still in the mid-30s, which is a quality. But how good is it to have players pushing each other? I said we've got left-arm spinners, we've got fast bowlers, batsmen, but what I don't see is an off-spinner who's been kind of spoken of, who could come in and take Ramesh Mendes' place. So that's the area I think they'll have to look at.
How many A-team tours and emerging tours has been organized? That's going to be the key for Sri Lanka cricket in the next 1 year or so. You spoke about, I think at the moment, there's a spinner called Lakshita Manasinghe, who's been spoken of highly, as well as Ashane Daniel, which is coming through the system. And there's another bowler which I've seen personally, is Kallara Senaratne, plays for Raghavan, which is your club, who has done really well. But those are the spinners that will fight with Ramesh Mendes. Keep pushing the players who's up there. With Prabhat Jayasuriya coming in, it's Lasit Tamuldenia and Praveen Jayawardene is back to club cricket for a while. Outside edge, going for a huge drive there. Kusal Mendes and lucky. The gully field was quite fine and square. It's good length by Hassan Ali. Just reducing the outside edge by the length. Fuller and just outside the off stump. That's where I think Sri Lanka selectors got their work cut out. Identifying the next talent, next pool who's going to come in through. You mentioned about Kamindu Mendes. Yes, he's pushing the middle order batsman. Pushing the Fernando, probably pushing Tatul Nisanka for a spot. But the rest of the batters who's outside trying to make a comeback in, there's not much, to be honest. And only the Fernando, there's one more player I can think of who's scoring heavily in the A-team and emerging teams. So all to look out for, probably the next year or so, Roshan. I think that's where Sri Lanka, a shadow team will be made, and they will keep pushing the players who are already playing probably the one-day team as well as the test team.
$102 for 2.
Walls of May, delicious praline flavor में.
Rajita is a night watchman. Yasir to continue from the 410. On the other hand, Roshan, I think when it comes to fast bowlers, that's something that will also get the attention of the selectors as well as Chris Silverwood. I had a chat with him this morning and he did mention that the pace battery is quite decent at the moment. They've now started a huge appeal by Kumar Dharmasena, unmoved. Discussion among Babar Azam and Mohammad Rizwan whether to go upstairs. Still going on, quite confident, and takes it.
TV umpire to director, we have a player review for caught behind. The original decision is not out. It's a fair delivery. I've checked the front foot. Can we get a front on, please? Thank you. Front on coming up. Thank you. It's gone very close to the bat, so we'll check ultra edge, please. Ultra edge coming up now, Kumar. Flat line. There's a clear gap between bat and ball. So there's just keep following that through, please. Just go a few more frames to make sure it goes past everything. Thank you. Nothing else involved, so no bat involved. Kumar, you'll be staying with your original decision. You are on screen now, simple now.
Right, Pakistan burning a review there. Wasn't a very confident appeal though, but they were, I think, just not. They're kind of desperate. Not sure that Rizwan was convinced. They went upstairs. Let's take another look. Was it Rizwan who really pushed for that review? Yasir Shah's appeal was more of an afterthought. Oh yes, that's it. It's Rizwan. Yes, it's him. It's him. He was very vocal. There goes the sweep. Only a single. But another topic I like to talk to you about is fast bowling, but with the spinner on, don't have much time to talk. So maybe next over we could. But then these are areas that the Sri Lankan selectors, Sri Lankan coaches will naturally be looking at, because there is a transition that's happening. As you know, Suranga Lakmal is now retired. A young breed of fast bowlers coming through. Not much of experience, but lots of potential. So it is a young makeup when you look at the bowling, but when you look at the batting looks solid because there's a lot of experience in that batting line. So much of experience. So it's interesting to see how you just blend it. You have a strong batting lineup, but not a very experienced bowling lineup. And it can become a challenge. It will become a challenge.
Nicely bowled again by Yasir Shah. I think that's where I said the next year or so for the emerging teams and the A teams in Sri Lanka cricket, that's where I think they have done the homework by organising some tours coming up. That's what I heard, to identify the next generation, the shadow team, as I said. For this time, we'll talk about it in the next over. End of the over. Sri Lanka 105 for 2.
थोड़ा मिला के पागलपन मोमेंट हो जाए तररम पम पम
This summer, Omar presents Wonder Bhari, creamy, flavorful treats जो कर दे सबको wow. Omar, wow भरा bite.
खुशबू को मिला हिफाजत का साथ, नया सेफगार्ड लैवेंडर, जर्म से महकती हिफाजत। सेफगार्ड।
फासला रखे वरना जाया हो जाएगा। दिल तो चाह रहा है इसको घुमा घुमा के तू टेंशन ना ले, हवा ले ले, गर्मी भगा, ठंड रख, स्ट्राइड।
Scott as backup bowlers, and these are the batting you're talking about, Roshan. At number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 experience. Even Roshan Fernandez played 18 games. That's a lot of experience in international cricket. But the bowlers, apart from Kasundrarita, it's quite new, quite raw. Both they play in international level. They will learn the art of picking up wickets in Test cricket. That's experience for you. The bowlers, the fast bowlers, is something that Sri Lanka is concerned with. Suranga Lakmal being retired, leader of the pack. At the moment in this test match, it's only Kasum Rajita who's playing this, and there's 3 spinners, quite new as we said. And if you bring Lasit Amuldeni into this folder, they're double digits for Sri Lanka. But then you got Asita Fernando, who's bowled really well, unlucky, contracted COVID, was out for the second test. And you have Dilshan Madhuskar as well as Vishwa Fernando are the backup bowlers. For the moment, I think test side will comprise this in these conditions, in subcontinent conditions. Sri Lanka's next test outing will be in New Zealand. The conditions will be far different. You can see lots of grass in those pitches. Maybe 1 spinner, or maybe 4 fast bowlers and play down the digital as well. That's option 2. So if that happens, even Chamika Karunaratne will be in the fold as a 4th team. The options are there. Now the shadow team, the A team. There are fast bowlers coming through as well. I've seen many, but giving them exposure in playing high quality cricket, something like emerging tours, 18 tours. These are the cricket these players should be having it, because since the National Cricket League is done, Super League, beg your pardon, now it's the emerging and the A team got to have lots of matches so that these players will improve their skills.
Right, that's very descriptive. Lots of information. Good, well done.
Slow ball by Hassan Ali.
Why you laugh? What's going on? Is it because it's a slow ball that you're laughing or what? I don't understand, Maha. We have just finished a very serious discussion.
You got a classical director in eye, always throws us golden stuff. It's just brilliant. But Pakistan's trying everything. Hassan Ali, it's been quite good. The lengths have been decent. Trying all his tricks. That time was slow delivery. A dominant field with a deep square leg. A fine leg. What I don't see yet is a bouncer being dished out.
Sri Lanka's lead now, 109. And this, we've spoken about the importance of this 3rd innings of the game. When the toss was won, everyone thought it's the 1st innings that's important. And when Pakistan was struggling, well, do something in the 2nd innings, get close to the Sri Lankan score. That's exactly what Babar Azam did. And now the 3rd innings. This has to be the moving innings. Single. It's 106 for 2.
कैल्शियम हर रोज है काम की ये डोज है अभी तो मैं जवान हूँ
कैल्शियम और विटामिन डी के इस्तेमाल से अब हर औरत बोलेगी
There are 1,000 ways I can.
जो चाहो जब चाहो जहाँ चाहो पाओ पाओ.
It's quite good. That's because also the Fernando has looked to play a few shots. Kusal Mendes also has complimented. On the subject of Kusal Mendes, he's batted at 3, he's opened, he's batted at 4. If you look at his record against pace and spin, his record against spin is almost, 1.5 times his record against spin, or pace rather. What does this tell you? His average against pace is under 30, but his average against spin is excellent, almost 50. Now, I'm thinking he's scored almost the equal number of runs, 1,600 and 1,600. I'm just thinking, being a top order batsman, batting at 3 and 2 and 4, just wondering how or what exactly is his issue against pace, because you'll expect them to be good there against fast bowlers. Spinners would come in later on as you start building your innings, but it's all about the top, isn't it?
Sweep shot. Oh, lucky that was inside edge. Quite straight this time, taking a risk. Goes in the Fernando. Quite straight, skidding on his pitcher. Probably off stump. Yeah, it was going, probably hitting the middle and off. Length was there. Probably the line, he missed it. And just a subject on Kusal Mendes, Roshan. Kusal Mendes did have a torrid time. Remember, South African tour a couple of years ago. That's where it started and came back to fail in the England series. Mainly every game, if I remember right. Corridor was uncertain, just outside the off stump. It was nicking off. Technical error. And if you ask me, who's the player at number 3 in this team, I still feel Kusal Mendes is the player going forward. If he could negate that technical error that he's been working on really hard. You have Angelo Matthews at 4, Dinesh Chandimal at 5, who could do the job for you, but 3, I think at the moment, Kusal is the best Sri Lanka has got. End of the 31st, Sri Lanka 107 for 2.
तूने नोटिस किया? हाँ यार, पेप्सी काफी स्ट्रांग हो गई है ना? या
नई पेप्सी अब और भी ज्यादा स्ट्रांग, तो व्हाई नॉट मेरी जान।
हमारी अपनी बुटीक की लॉन्च है और डिजाइनर हेयर फॉल का शिकार मॉडल वाले बालों के लिए मॉडल वाले शैम्पू फॉर हेयर फॉल पैंटीन इज माय चॉइस। इसमें है फर्मेंटेड राइस वाटर और प्रूवन जो सिर्फ 14 दिन में हेयर फॉल कम करे।
Work really hard as a batting unit.
And then 7 for 2. Salman Aga, the off spinner. Again another good end to bowl from, because the breeze has picked up. Drift can be very useful. Can just bowl that outside the off stump line. He's finding turn from there. Just try and bowl a fraction outside the off stump. Get him pushing forward. Short leg will be in play straight away. Also, Maha, you could see that minor explosions are starting to happen. There you are. That's what I'm talking about. But get it wide at the off stump, not straight. That's when the short leg will come into play. He will be in business.
Also, just goes to show even the batsmen who have scored 54 don't look comfortable. Just want to defend this time, coming down the track. It's happened because the first delivery did turn, put that doubt in Ashwin Fernando's mind. The part-time spinner, we were told. I think Aga is much better than that. He's looking at his reps, delivery, and seeing position correctly. Babar Azam has got extra cover at Silimidon. This is where the game is on. Off spinners against right-handers, Silimidon and leg gully. Other places, batsmen got to be really careful. Oh! Probably Salman is misread the length. Nicely bowled, good pace. The line was good. You mentioned about just bowling outside the off stump. Yeah, like drift away as well.
The key to get him to push forward rather than play off the back foot. Now Kusal Mendes is looking to be proactive, trying to take him on a bit, not letting him, just settling into that length. Again, take a look at the explosions we are talking about. That topsoil is now starting to go off. Still pretty minor. See, looking to play off the back foot. So that negates that turn, because Kusal Mendes is trying to get on the back foot and push it on the offside. So that's why it's got to be really tight, just outside the off.
Yeah, I think the length. Any batsman would want to score runs in this pitch. If there's an opportunity to rock into the back foot, they should do that. That's where batsmen could score runs, but anything up there playing the defensive stroke, you never know what's going to happen. The explosions this pitch is providing for the spinners. And nicely played. Nice twist. Long on for a single. Lanka 110 for 2.
तूने नोटिस किया? हाँ यार, पेप्सी काफी स्ट्रांग हो गई है ना? या
नई पेप्सी अब और भी ज्यादा स्ट्रांग। तो व्हाई नॉट मेरी जान।
चाय चाहिए कौन सी जन्नत।
जैज के 75 मिलियन कस्टमर्स मना रहे हैं पाकिस्तान की 75वीं जश्न आजादी को एक सुपर अंदाज के साथ।
The scoring rate is very good, 3.68. That's because Osho the Fernando has been good against spin. He's not allowed the spinners to settle in. He's been looking to score runs off the spinners. So that's a good ploy. They're not letting the spinners settle in. The sweep shot has been there. He's, as you said, he's looked to come down the pitch. He's played straight. Well, thankfully Sri Lanka doesn't have a devil's number. It's 111. It would have made the Englishman not feel comfortable. What am I saying? Not Ricky Ponting. What am I saying? Umpire Dickie Bird would have been fidgety. Late David Shepherd would be just jumping up or standing up on one leg. All these idiosyncrasies.
In my career, Roshan, the two of the characters in umpires are definitely Shepherd as well as Steve Buckner. Someone that you talk to him, he'll never utter a word. He'll just give you actions. And sometimes to get a word out of him, just ask, sir, how's my front foot? Nevaz, he says, cool, man. Cool, that's it. Lovely delivery by Yasir Shah. Gone are the days. These days umpiring, and nowadays with so much technology involved. If there's a lots of difference, I'm talking about era as well as nowadays. Kusal Mendes and Ocean Fernando doing the job. Partnership of 70 of 118. It's what the doctor ordered for Sri Lanka.
Breathtaking, isn't it? Breathtaking view. Oh, there was drift and bounce. Perfect example of what we're talking about. Just a touch short. That was the only flaw in that delivery. Look at the drift. It's just the length. Imagine Kusal Mendes pushing forward at that. There was bounce and turn too.
Drift, bounce, turn. Exactly what a spinner would love to have, and what this pitch is providing the spinner. Just a matter of getting them, the batters, into the front foot. Maybe 6 inches much fuller. 33 gone. Sri Lanka 1-1-1 for 2.
फासला रखे वरना जाया हो जाएगा। दिल तो चाह रहा है इसको घुमा घुमा के तू टेंशन ना ले, हवा ले ले, गर्मी भगा, ठंड रख, स्प्राइट
थोड़ा मिला के पागलपन मोमेंट हो जाए तरम पम पम।
This summer, Omar presents Wonder Bhari creamy, flavorful treats जो कर दे सबको wow. Omar, wow भरा bite.
This is a critical time here for Pakistan. With this lead at 115, they need a breakthrough before the luncheon break.
They're trying desperately. Quite a few options exhausted by the captain, but no joy. Yes, the night watchman was relieved of his duties very early this morning. After that, these two batsmen played so well. Some Sally bowlers haven't bowled well. I have to give credit to the batters. who have handled the pressure, shown the right attitude, and technical skills. Up, up.
Getting to that critical mark as well. Russell Arnold doing his pitch report spoke about how 40 overs, the ball's getting softer, and suddenly it lacks that zip off the surface, which is it's always struck gold. It seems to have got easier once that magical mark has been passed. So Dinesh Chandimal get a big partnership with a number of the tail enders for Sri Lanka, and the same thing with Babar Azam and the Pakistan tail. Again, nicely watched. Single off the last, 112 for 2.
चाहिए कौन सी जन्नत It's the kind of magic.
Walls अब नए delicious double chocolate flavor में.
Robert Jayasuriya continues enjoying international cricket with another fifer. That's 3 in 3 innings for him in Test cricket. 6, and now 5.
Seems like the pitch has already eased out for these two batsmen. Got their eye in, got the measure of the pitch. They've been efficient. Front foot and the back foot. Oh, that one turned sharply. This is the requirement. Have to bowl quicker on this pitch. Get something out. That occasion, Yasir Shah not only giving tweak and all of force behind the ball, hence bounce and turn.
Yeah, I think Pakistan need to look at the entire match and feel, well, if things have happened in a hurry, here's the googly, the back of the hand. Pakistan can look at how wickets have fallen. They, once you get 1, 2, 3, there's a top edge, fall safely. So they got to keep plodding, keep pushing, hoping to just break this partnership. Then walking in on this pitch is, and if they can make some inroads, nip one out before lunch, then a couple straight after lunch, then the contest becomes even once more. At the moment, just going a little bit in Sri Lanka's favour.
Yeah, the Pakistani captain has to ask the bowlers to do something different. Maybe Yasir Shah bowling round the stumps. To pitch the ball in that blind area of the batsman. Something different. Break the focus of these two batsmen who are looking $1 million at the moment.
Beautifully bowled. That will happen often. 114 for 2.
हमारी अपनी बुटीक की लॉन्च है और डिजाइनर हेयर फॉल का शिकार मॉडल वाले बालों के लिए मॉडल वाले शैम्पू फॉर हेयर फॉल पैंटीन इज माय चॉइस
इसमें है फर्मेंटेड राइस वाटर और प्रोविटामिन फॉर्मूला जो सिर्फ 14 दिन में हेयर फॉल कम करे.
जो चाहो जब चाहो जहाँ चाहो पाओ पाओ.
Seen the young Nasim Shah bowl yet. Bowls with good pace. Played a real good hand with the bat. Only made 5 in a partnership of 70.
It's very important when you select a playing 11 to dig deeper. Now the situation is such where if a bowler leaks runs quickly, the pressure is going to ramp up. And the captain Babar Azam doesn't have that confidence in Naseem Shah. Optimistic. He's not a bowler who can consistently pitch the ball in the right areas and have the batsman quiet for a longer period of time. In every over, he's in a habit of giving a freebie to the batsman. And that's why it's a reluctant captain to use him in this innings.
This was the half shout. Bit of fielding. Something we haven't seen from Pakistan yet. We wonder if there's something happening out there at the moment, if they're trying to keep one side dry and shine the other. Is reverse swing. We know that arguably the best exponents of reverse swing when the ball's in their favour. We haven't seen that yet. We haven't seen the ball tail in. The environment doesn't assist Pakistan in trying to get that ball to reverse, because the square doesn't look as abrasive as what would normally be. The outfield's pretty lush. All those things need to be in their favour in order to get that one side rough. On 15 for 2.
तुमने नोटिस किया? हाँ यार, पेप्सी काफी स्ट्रांग हो गई है ना? या
नई पेप्सी अब और भी ज्यादा स्ट्रांग, तो व्हाई नॉट मेरी जान।
हमारी अपनी बुटीक की लॉन्च है और डिजाइनर हेयर फॉल का शिकार मॉडल वाले बालों के लिए मॉडल वाले शैम्पू फॉर हेयर फॉल पैंटीन इज माय चॉइस।
इसमें है फर्मेंटेड राइस वाटर और प्रोविटामिन फॉर्मूला जो सिर्फ 14 दिन में हेयर फॉल कम करे।
Eight wickets to go, and these two batsmen looking set. Ominous signs for Pakistan in this test match. Yeah, you mentioned this ground is not that abrasive, even the square, and that's why the ball is not getting scruffed up. A way to get ball scruffed up: pitch the ball in those rough areas consistently, and you might see the ball reversing.
We often see teams, when the ball goes up towards the boundary, they sometimes try and throw it in on the bounce or throw it just short to the keeper in sort of rough area where the keeper stands. And it's beautifully bowled. It won't be the last time we see an outside edge beaten, particularly by this man. We do see teams try and find ways to use the surface that's available to them to get that ball to scuff up. Yes, umpires don't like it when players throw it in from the boundary, but it's very difficult to manage. Very difficult to manage that when it's being thrown from such vast distances.
Yeah, we saw the Australians trying that, but nothing happened. They were not able to get that ball scruffed up to be able to make it reverse. And I will not ask the players to find another way. No.
I certainly wasn't suggesting that. I was just saying They find ways, and one of them is throwing the ball in on the bounce. You mentioned the bowlers trying to find that rough more often. But it does require a lot of hard work, and also in conditions that are warm and humid. Bowler's hand starts to sweat, and trying to keep the ball dry is extremely difficult. 115 for 2.
फासला रखें वरना जाया हो जाएगा। दिल तो चाह रहा है इसको घुमा घुमा के तू टेंशन ना ले, हवा आने दे, गर्मी भगा, ठंड रख, स्प्राइट।
अभिषेक करवा के जाना किधर जब जिलेट गार्ड आए तेरे पास। जिलेट गार्ड का फ्लेक्सिबल हेड चेहरे के साथ कट से बचाने में मदद करता है, हर बार बिना कट के। जिलेट गार्ड
Both right-handers happy to use their feet to the off-spinner with the ball turning back into the right-hander. Long on in place, they just try and nudge it down the ground for a single.
The reason why Oshada is not afraid to use his feet, he knows the off-spinner, Salman Ali Agha, balls round armish. And with that action, he's not going to be able to bowl outside the off stump. So he's coming out of the pace whenever he wants to, with positivity.
We talk about a short leg and a specialist position it is. Just watch the short leg. He makes a little movement to his left. And now the ball spoons up. It's out of reach. Now, we see the real good ones. The ones... I'm not suggesting anyone's not good there, but we've seen Marnus Labuschagne. Good bit of feeling in the deep. See now someone like Marnus Labuschagne at short leg, he goes with the batter, he's almost in line with him so that when the inside edge is found, the catch can be taken.
But most importantly, you have to maintain that spot position. As a fielder at short leg, you ill afford to get up. And have a look. He's standing. He's in no position to go for that ball. He's in no position to dive. If it's required to catch the ball, yes, I'm with you. You require a specialist at that particular position. 119 for 2 Sri Lanka.
तूने नोटिस किया? हाँ यार, पेप्सी काफी स्ट्रांग हो गई है ना? या
नहीं पेप्सी, अब और भी ज्यादा स्ट्रांग। तो व्हाई नॉट मेरी जान।
पेशेंट्स मुझे अक्सर बताते हैं कि ठंडी या गर्म चीज लेने से दांतों में शदीद तकलीफ का एहसास होता है। इसका आसान और फौरी हल है सेंसराइन रैपिड एक्शन का रोजाना बाकायदगी से इस्तेमाल। ये सिर्फ 7 सेकंड्स में तकलीफ से आराम देता है। इट्स ब्रिलियंट।
1, 2, 3. That's the lead. Sri Lanka have here on day number 3 at Galle International Stadium, on a wicket that's offering some turn. This is what they've done well. A bad ball put away.
But this partnership is of 82 now. How crucial this partnership is. Just pouncing on every opportunity to score runs. Yes, it was short. No doubt about it. But he had to wait for the ball, which he did and rewarded.
It's the wrist spinner is capable of doing. It's a difficult art wrist spinner. Every now and again they just drag one down. And the wrist spinner gets tired quicker than the finger spinner, doesn't it?
This game is slowly moving away from Pakistan. And to stay in this game, they need to break this partnership. They have to think out of the box. The moment is waiting for the things to happen. And that's what the Sri Lankan captain was guilty of. Pakistan in last wicket was allowed to feature in a substantial partnership. I don't understand the purpose of this. Fine leg slip, leg gully, whatever you call it. He hasn't bowled too many googlies in this innings, or rather in this test match. So, if you were the captain, why would you place that fielder at leg gully?
Well, it would be there for the googly. Not going to be there for the leg spinner. End of the 39th, 1, 2, 3 for 2.
हमारी अपनी बुटीक की लॉन्च है और डिजाइनर हेयर फॉल का शिकार मॉडल वाले बालों के लिए मॉडल वाले शैम्पू फॉर हेयर फॉल पैंटीन इज माय चॉइस।
इसमें है फर्मेंटेड राइस वाटर और प्रो विटामिन फॉर्मूला जो सिर्फ 14 दिन में हेयर फॉल कम करे।
Just a part-time off-spinner, Salman. Batter that bowls a little bit.
Yes. The line he's bowling at the moment, he'll be very lucky to pick up a wicket. It's not bringing any challenge to the batsman. His finger working quite well, putting the rep on the ball. Yes. Maybe around the stumps. Look to fire the ball outside the off stump.
It's always a very challenging angle, isn't it, when the off-spinner comes from around the wicket. He brings in so many more possibilities of a dismissal. The pitching on and straightening, LBW ball going straight on, finding the outside edge.
Another thing, right arm off spinner coming round the stumps. You force the batsman to open up the stance. Batsman doing something different. That's a bad thing.
Lovely use of the feet, that wasn't it? He got well outside the off stump, and then still works with the spin to find long on. uh, 125 for 2.
जैज के 75 मिलियन कस्टमर्स मना रहे हैं पाकिस्तान की 75वीं जश्न आजादी को एक सुपर अंदाज के साथ। तो शामिल हो जाएं इस जश्न में पाकिस्तान के पहले और सबसे बड़े नेशनल सॉन्ग कॉम्पिटिशन के साथ।
तुमने नोटिस किया?
हाँ यार,
पेप्सी काफी स्ट्रांग हो गई है ना?
या नहीं पेप्सी, अब और भी ज्यादा स्ट्रांग, तो व्हाई नॉट मेरी जान?
It's been a while since Yasir Shah's played Test cricket back into the side, and we know that his record, it's a good one, but it certainly was a whole lot better before 2019 than what it's been since 2019. That average 28, that's exceptional.